Hey guys, Alex here. Thank you so much for joining me for today's full body Pilates workout. This is a no equipment routine, so you'll be sculpting your abs, arms, glutes, and thighs without the need for any weights. You're gonna get in a great full body sculpt using just body weight resistance. You'll burn calories and feel fantastic after completing this routine. This workout includes a warm up and a cool down, so let's go ahead and get right into our warm up. We're gonna sit down on the mat with our legs crossed or in a kneeling position. If that's uncomfortable for you, you can be standing with your feet hip distance apart. From here, we're gonna stack each individual vertebra up, one on top of the other. The shoulders are down, the neck is long. We're lengthening up through the crown of the head. Nice. With that beautiful posture, we're gonna get into some Pilates breathing. So we're gonna breathe in through the nose, filling the back of the rib cage, and then slowly exhale through pursed lips. Inhale in through the nose and slowly exhale, deflating the rib cage. One more breath, inhaling, and breathe all the air out of the lungs. Amazing work. Now we're going to add our core engagement. So we're going to breathe in through the nose. Abdominals are relaxed, and as we exhale, we're gonna draw the belly button in toward the spine, keeping your shoulders soft. Nicely done. Now from here, we're gonna mobilize the neck. So we're going to look up, inhaling and exhaling, nodding chin to chest, looking down at the mat. Inhale, bring the gaze up, and exhale, nod the chin and look down. Inhale and exhale, looking up and looking down, keeping the spine tall as you nod the chin. Let's take two. And last one. And back to center with the gaze. Now from here, we're going to look to the right, inhaling, and exhale to the left. Inhale, look to the right, and exhale, bring your gaze over to the left. Inhaling and exhaling as you look from side to side, keeping your chin parallel with the floor and keeping your spine nice and tall here. Good. Enjoying that stretch through the side of the neck, lubricating the neck joint for two. And final one, and back to center. Good. Now from here, we're going to interlace our fingers and take them above the head. If that's uncomfortable, you can have your palms facing in like so. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to round forward, pushing the palms forward, rounding through the spine. Inhale, look up, extending the spine, and exhale to round. Inhale, lift, and exhale, round. So I'll take a side view for this so you can see the spinal positioning. As we round, we're scooping the belly in, and as we lift, we're gently extending the spine and opening through the chest. Good. Inhaling and exhaling to come forward, scooping navel in. Inhaling and exhaling. Really exaggerate the movement. And last one, round, and bring the spine into neutral. Now we're going to bend from side to side. So I'm going to lower my right hand down and reach up and over with the left hand, stretching and lengthening through the side body as we mobilize the spine from side to side. Inhale to center, exhale to reach and stretch, keeping your hips even, keeping both bum cheeks down on the floor, bringing your ear towards your shoulder so that you're mobilizing the neck and the upper spine here as well. Let's take 3 and 2 and final 1. Amazing. Now we're going to come into an all fours position. And from here, we're going to mobilize the hips. So the wrists are below the shoulders, knees are below the hips. We're going to pick the right knee up and circle it in. So bringing it up, around, and down. Up, around, and down. A really slow movement to mobilize the hip joint on this right side. Let's take one more. Nice. We'll switch sides. Circling that left knee in. Good. Really lifting it up and over. Moving that leg bone around in the hip socket for 2 and 1. We're going to lower, stretch that left leg out long behind you, stretch the right leg out long, and pike up into a downward dog. From here, we're going to really flatten out the upper back, lift those hips nice and high, and just let the head hang between the shoulders. Your knees can be as bent as they need to be to get that lift through the hips. I want you to really flatten out your upper back here. And we're going to move into some slow pedals just to stretch the backs of the legs and get that circulation going in the lower body. So lowering, alternating heel down to the mat, enjoying the stretch, and then switching sides. Nice lifted pelvis here for 3 and 2 and 1. Great. Now from here, we're going to bend the right knee, lift the leg up high, then bring the right knee in toward the chest so the shin is parallel with the floor. Lift and lengthen that right leg and then lower it down. Same thing, opposite side, bend that right knee, extend that left knee, and then bring the knee in and extend the leg and lower. Good. So we're going to lift that right leg, bring the knee in, shin is parallel with the mat, extend the leg and lower. Left leg, lift, bring it in, hold in that plank, then extend the leg and lower. Good. Right leg. Bring it in, belly to spine, shoulders above wrists, and then lower with control. Good. Switching sides, getting length through the leg and switching on that core as you bring that knee in. Good. And lower. Last one. Lift, bring it in, extend, and lower down. We're going to stretch up high and then soften the knees down to the mat. Take them nice and wide and push back into child's pose. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now that we've warmed up and mobilized the body, we're going to get into our upper body work. So we're going to return to our downward dog position. So curl your toes, bring your knees back to parallel and pike up. From here, we're going to bring the right knee in toward the right elbow, tap it in and back and pike up. Repeat. Right knee into right elbow, hold in your plank and pike up. Good. Tap, plank, pike up. Good work. Tap, high plank, and pike it up. So repeating that sequence, really cinching in your waistline, lifting through your abdominal wall as you bring that knee to the elbow, making sure that you're holding in a nice flat line with the body when you're in that high plank position. Good. Shoulders over wrists. Amazing work. Let's take 2 more on that side. Great. And last one. And lift up into that downward dog. We're going to repeat that on the left side now. So we're taking a nice deep inhale. We're coming into our plank. Left knee to left elbow, step back, hold, and then pike up. Good. So bringing that knee in, lifting through the abdominal wall as you do so. So you're really working your core as well as your upper body muscles. Great work. Bring it in, tap, step it back, and downward dog. Great, we've got 4 more. and 3, abs in, for 2, you're doing so well, nice control, and final 1, and lift and stretch. Take a couple of deep breaths here, stretch out the upper back, and then lower the knees down to the floor, and push back into a child's pose. Nicely done. Now from this position, we're gonna come forward, bring the knees to parallel, and slowly ease the upper body down to the mat. Good. Position yourself in the center of the mat. Separate your legs so they're about shoulder distance apart, and we're gonna take the hands on either side of the shoulders. Now, with these exercises, we really want to focus on lengthening through the spine. So you don't want to be lifting like this, lifting your head and compressing your low back. You want to think about a piece of string drawing the crown of your head toward the ceiling, lengthening your spine as you strengthen your core and upper back muscles. So from here, with that lengthening feeling in mind, we're going to inhale. And as we exhale, we're gonna lift, gently contracting the upper back muscles together as we float the palms. Lower and repeat. Gently drawing those shoulder blades together as we hold, lengthening out through the crown of the head and lowering. So as we move, we're really thinking about that spinal lengthening as we gently draw those shoulder blades together. We're keeping our gaze down on the mat the entire time and only lifting the chest as high as we can without compressing the lower back. Good. Lift and hold and lower in the inhale. And lower. Good. And lower. Last one. We're going to come up and hold for 5, 4, 3. Draw those shoulder blades together and 1. Nice. Slow and controlled, but super effective. Okay, from here, we're gonna add 5 little pulses back with those elbows as we're in our hold position. So we're inhaling and we're exhaling to lift. Pulse those elbows back, contracting the upper back muscles together for 2, 3, 4, and 5, and lower down. Good. Inhale and exhale. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and lower down. Little micro movement here, but it's great for targeting those upper back muscles. If you have upper back pain, this can be a great exercise to do to strengthen those muscles. Good. This is a great one for building good posture as well. 3, 4, and 5. Lower. Keep the gaze down on the floor. You don't want to bring the gaze up, otherwise your neck will be out of alignment with your spine like this. Good. Let's do 2 more sets. 1, lift a little higher. 3, 4, and 5. Back muscles are working hard. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Amazing. Stretch your arms out long on the mat. Now from here, we're going to, again, keeping the gaze down on the mat, lift up, pull those elbows back, straighten the arms, and lift a little higher, then bend and lower. Good. So you're going to pull back, straighten the arms, lift the chest a tiny bit higher, bend the elbows, and extend the arms to lower. Inhale and exhale. Bring it back, lift, bend, and lower. Good. Really focus on squeezing those shoulder blades together as you extend the arms out long behind you. Pull back with power and energy, keeping the gaze down on the floor. Good work. Lift, extend, little lift higher, bend, and lower. 2 more sets. Lift, bend, and lower. Good work. Last set. Lift, extend, lift, lower. Amazing. Now we're going to bring the arms back by the sides. Thumbs are pointing down, little fingers are pointing up. We're going to inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to lift up and draw the shoulder blades together, drawing the palms together. Lower, relax the arms. Inhale and exhale, lift and squeeze the arms toward each other and lower. So when you lift, you're kind of bringing the arms parallel, contracting your upper back muscles, and then lower with control. Lift. Imagine that piece of string drawing the crown of your head toward the wall in front of you. Good. Amazing. Squeeze those upper back muscles and hold, and then lower down. Squeeze those upper back muscles together, hold, then lower down. We've got 3 and 2 and final 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3. Squeeze those arms toward each other and 1. Take your hands on either side of your shoulders. Take your knees wide and push back into a child's pose. Wow, even those small movements got me sweating, got me working hard. I can feel the work that was happening in that upper back. Amazing work. Now from here, we're going to come into an all fours position. You can move up so you've got a little bit of space to stretch your leg out long behind. I'm going to extend my left leg and my right arm. Now we're going to be lifting and lowering the right arm, focusing on contracting the shoulder. You have the option of lifting your left leg at the same time for a little bit more challenge, but if you lose stability that way, I'd like you to just keep your leg lowered and just focus on lifting and lowering your arm. So we're going to lift the arm and the leg. 1, if you're lifting the leg, 2, 3, keeping those shoulders level, 4, and 5. Now either keeping the leg down or lifting it, you're gonna move into your tricep push-up, keeping the elbows in close toward the side of the body. Let's repeat that. 1, 2, 3, lengthen through fingers and toes, 4, and 5. Lower into your tricep push-up, elbows in close, and push the mat away. Good. 1, 2, you're doing great. 3, 4, I forgot about the leg there, and 5. Lower the hand, lower the chest, and push mat away. Great work. Lots of things to coordinate here. 1, 2, focus on stability. 3, 4, and 5. And lower down into that tricep push-up. You're doing so well. Last set. 1, 2, abs in, gaze down on the mat. And 5, and lower into that tricep push-up. Amazing work. Now we're going to switch sides, extending the right leg, extending the left arm, and focusing on balance, stability, and control as you lift just the arm or the arm and the leg. Good. For 2 more. And then moving into that tricep push-up and focusing on the backs of the arms. Good. 1. Find length through the fingers and toes. And lower and push up. You're doing so well. Really strengthening the core, strengthening the upper body, working those triceps. And lower, push up through the heels of the hands. Good, last 2 sets. Squeeze the bum if you're lifting the leg. Good, lower, chest down, and push up. Last set. Whew. You're doing so well. 3, 4, abs in, and 5. Lower, weight in the heels of the hands as you push up. Lower your knees, take them wide, and stretch back into your child's pose. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth for 3, and 2, and 1. Great. Now from here, we're going to move into our lower body work. So I'm coming up to the top of my mat. I'm ensuring that my wrists are below my shoulders and my knees are below my hips. If your wrists need a little bit of a rest here, you can come down onto your forearms. I'm going to stay up on my palms. Whichever position you're in, make sure that your tailbone is slightly tucked. I'm going to bend my left knee and I'm just going to go into some bent knee lifts. So I'm really focusing on keeping my hips square with the mat, My shoulders broad and level. As I lift and lower that left knee, I'm really focusing on squeezing the gluteus maximus. So mind-muscle connection, squeeze the glute at the top of every lift and really engage your core so that you're not straining your lower back. Good. Keep those shoulders broad, keep pushing the mat away. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. We're gonna hold it there. Really draw navel in and then pulse. Just slow pulses here. Good work. Amazing work. Keep pulsing, keep that knee elevated to torso height. And we've got 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Now from here, we're gonna stretch the leg out long. Make sure you're not leaning to your supporting side too much here. We wanna be really balanced across the shoulders and the hips as we start lifting and lowering that left leg, squeezing the glutes, engaging the thigh with every lift. Good. Again, if you need to drop down onto your forearms at any point, please do so. We don't want you to strain your wrists. Try not to collapse in your shoulders. You always want to be broad across your shoulders. Toes are really pointed here. For 3 and 2 and 1. Hold it there. And we're going to pulse up. Just small controlled pulses here. No need to rush. I really want you to be focusing on the muscles, doing the work, lengthening out through that big toe, keeping that core engaged and the torso stable for 3 and 2 and 1. Amazing. Now we're going to switch our focus to our right side. So I'm going to drop down onto my left forearm and prop myself up on my right palm. I'm keeping that right shoulder down away from my right ear as I start lifting and lowering that right leg open to the side. So it's a variation of fire hydrant here. Now we were focusing on our left gluteus maximus muscles. Now we're focusing on the gluteus medius on the right side. That side booty, we really want to contract it with every lift. Lift it high, squeeze the muscle, and then lower. Keeping the neck long. Keep breathing here. Drawing navel in with every lift. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to extend and bend that leg on a diagonal. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Good. Keeping that torso really stable, that core engaged. I can feel this diagonal work into my waistline as well. Contracting the hamstring as we pull the heel back toward the bum. Whew, these are tough, but so effective. Let's go 5 and 4. Keep the neck nice and long. 3 and 2. I'm really sweating now. And final 1. Good work. Okay, now we're going to lower and lift that leg. Think about length here. Lengthening from the hip all the way out through that big toe. The spine is long, the leg is long, the toes are pointed. We're strengthening multiple muscles with this move. Good work. Keep breathing through it. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Don't be upset with me, but we've got pulses. Keep the leg nice and lifted. Keep the toes pointed hard. Good. Lift a little higher for 10, 9, 8, 7. Working that side booty. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Let's stretch back. Inhaling and exhaling. Lengthening through the spine for 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, we are going to repeat that sequence on the opposite side. So I'd like you to move into your all fours position, either up on those palms or down on those forearms. Bend your right knee, and we're gonna get into those Bent knee lifts. Keeping your hips square with the mat is really important. Keeping your tailbone slightly tucked, also key to protecting your low back. We're engaging the abdominal wall, drawing the belly in every time we lift that leg. Good. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really connecting with those right glutes as we now pulse that knee up. Good. Keep pulsing. Keep that leg elevated. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. Extend the leg out long. Make sure your hips are square and level with the mat. And we're going to move right into those leg lifts. No collapsing here through the shoulders. Press mat away, broad shoulders. You don't want to drop your head here either. This is one that sometimes we do when we're tired. Keep your gaze on the mat, just in front of your hands. Good. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, nice pointed toes, and 1, hold it there, and pulse. Little controlled pulses. Keep that torso super still and stable. You're doing so well. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Those were burners. Okay, now we're gonna drop down onto the right forearm, propping ourselves up on that left hand, and then lifting that left knee open to the side. Good. Really focusing on the gluteus medius now. Squeezing that side booty with every lift. Making each repetition really count by focusing on that amazing form. Lengthened neck, engaged core. Side booty activated for 3 and 2 and 1. Now we're going to bend and extend on a diagonal. Bend, extend, bend, extend. Toes stay pointed. We're really focusing on contracting the back of the leg as we pull that heel toward the bum. Nice work. Stick with it. We've got 5, 4, amazing long spine, 3, 2, and 1. Now leg lifts. Nice long line with the body here. Lengthen from the hip all the way out through that big toe. See how long you can get that leg. We're strengthening and stretching at the same time, which is an amazing combination. Good. Stick with it. You know we're very close to the finish line on this side. For 3, 2, and 1. Hold the leg where it is, lift it a bit higher, and start pulsing it up. You've got this. Let's go. 10, lift a bit higher. 9, lengthen through the neck. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down into a child's pose. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Enjoying some restorative breaths. And stretching into that hip area, into the lower back. For 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, from here we're going to move into a couple of exercises to strengthen and sculpt the inner thighs. We were working the thighs in the exercises that we just did, but we're going to specifically target them from this position. So we've got our forearms down on the mat and the elbows are below the shoulders. This is key because we want to be using the forearms to push up so that we're nice and open across the chest and we're not rounding or slumping through the spine. Our core is tight. It'll help to maintain that healthy spine position as we extend the legs. Now, if extending them is too much, you can have a bend. We're going to turn the toes slightly out so that the heels are touching. Keeping the toes turned out, we're going to widen the legs and then close them. I'm going to move out on a diagonal so I've got a little bit more space here. So I'm widening the legs and then pressing the heels together. Now, as you press those heels together, I want you to draw your navel in. Imagine both sides of your rectus abdominis coming together as you squeeze those inner thighs, creating a nice tight seam running up the middle of the body. You can add on to the benefit by really engaging your pelvic floor as you tap those heels together as well. Good. Let's go 4, 3. Keep pushing the mat away for 2. And final 1. Bring the knees in toward the chest for a moment. Take a nice deep breath and then extend the legs out long again. Make sure you're propped up, nice open chest. Now we're going to cross one leg over the other, cross the other leg over the other. Little crisscrosses in the air, squeezing the inner thighs, keeping the toes turned out and the toes pointed. Good. Keep pressing up through those elbows. Good. Focusing on those inner thighs, squeezing as you draw the legs together, crossing the legs over each other. Calves are working here too. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, lift up nice and high, and then fold over your lower body for a stretch. Let's just take a moment here to pull ourselves down a little deeper, bringing the chest closer toward the legs. You can be holding onto your calves, ankles, or the bottom of your feet here, whatever you feel flexible enough to achieve in order to feel that great deep back body stretch. For 3 and 2 and 1. Good. We're going to lift up and move into the final portion of this workout, our ab and core strengthening moves. So I'd like you to come down onto the mat. We're going to get nice and comfortable, finding the center of the mat. We're going to start off with the arms above the head, palms are touching. So the palms are in a prayer position. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together and widen the knees. So just the inside of the feet are touching. We're going to inhale here. And as we exhale, we're going to curl and crunch up, bringing those hands between the thighs. And then as we lower, we're going to close the thighs tight. Good. Lift up, reach those fingers toward the end of the mat and close to lower. Nice work. Now, as you come up, I want you to really focus on pressing your low back to the mat and lifting head, neck, and shoulders up to the point where your head is resting on top of your shoulders. Your gaze is looking out between those thighs as you curl and crunch up. Strong, straight arms. Reaching those fingers down toward the end of the mat, holding for a split second, and then lowering on the inhale. Good. And lift and hold. Tension on the abs, and then lower. We've got 4 and 3. Peel up for 2. And final 1. Hold and lower down. Now we're going to bring the legs into tabletop and take the hands behind the head. So the fingers are interlaced. The legs are in tabletop. We're going to keep the inside of the feet together. You can bring your knees a little closer to your chest if your low back's really lifting off the mat. And then we're going to curl and crunch up. And as we do so, we're keeping the elbows wide and we're squeezing the knees together. So lower, widen the knees, and lift, squeeze knees together. So thinking back to that seam running up through the middle of the body, I want you to really
Press your lower back to the floor, squeeze your thighs together, engage your pelvic floor, and contract your abdominal wall down towards your spine. Lots of checkpoints. If that's too much to keep all of that in your mind, just really focus on drawing belly button to spine as you lift. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Keep those elbows wide, peel up and hold, and then lower down. Whew, core is already working really hard here. Good. Let's go 3 and 2, supporting your head in your hands, and final 1. Now you have the option of building on by extending the legs. So it looks like this. Your knees are wide, and as you curl and crunch up, you squeeze the legs together and extend them. If that's too much, I want you to keep your legs in tabletop and continue with the opening and closing of the legs. So you're extending and bending to lower, extending and bending and widening the knees to lower. Now, if you want, you can add your arms here as well, taking them by your sides. Otherwise, you can keep them behind your head to support your head, neck, and shoulders, whatever feels right for you right now. And if you want to extend your level of challenge, you can come out at a lower angle with those legs. If you want it a little easier, come up at a higher angle with those legs. I'm going to keep mine somewhere in the middle. Let's go 5 and 4, 3. Reach up with those fingers, reach toward the end of the mat, and 1. Nice work. Okay, now from here, we're gonna go into a variation of crisscross. You have a couple options in terms of level of challenge. Level 1, you've got that left foot down on the floor and the right leg extended, and you're gonna cross over, left elbow to right knee into that one-sided crisscross. For the harder variation, you're coming in and lowering, coming in and lowering. So pick your level of challenge and let's go. Keeping the elbows nice and wide, crossing over. Notice I'm moving slowly. I'm really keeping the engagement on those obliques, sculpting the waistline as I hold and then lower. Good. Let's go 3 and 2 and final 1. Nicely done. Now you're lowering your right leg and crossing over, or you're bringing that knee in and extending it. Good. Picking that level of challenge that's right for you, that allows you to sculpt your waistline while moving with control and good form. Obliques are working hard. That's how you get that definition in the waistline, so stick with it. You're doing so well. Let's go 4 and 3. Pick that right shoulder blade right up off the floor for 2 and final 1. Whew. Nice work. Hug the knees in toward the chest and just take a moment here. You can gently rock from side to side, or you can stay stationary as you take a couple deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth for 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Okay, I'm going to take my hands behind my knees and roll myself up, and we're going to get into position to continue to work our lower abs. So I'm gonna lower my forearms down to the mat. These are the final 2 ab exercises that we're gonna do today. So stick with me and then we'll move into our cool down. I'm curling my toes here and I'm gonna pike up. Now, as I pike up, I'm really focusing on flattening out the upper back and scooping my lower abdominals in. So my bum is high, my lower abdominals are vacuuming in. Then I'm gonna come forward into a low plank and then lift up. So find that correct positioning, come forward, abs in, and lift up. Inhale and exhale, pull your belly button in toward your spine. Keep it engaged through that entire lift. Inhale and exhale. Lift abdominal wall. Inhale and exhale. Good. Lower and lift. Lower into your low plank and lift. Scoot belly in. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2. Great work. Working your upper body muscles here too. And final 1. Good. Lower your knees down for a moment. Collect yourself, take a deep breath, and then we're going to move back into a low plank position. You can keep your forearms parallel like this, or you can interlace your fingers. Keep your elbows below your shoulders and step back into a low plank. Feet are flexed. Create that nice flat line with the body. You can either hold to finish off in a static plank, or you can rock forward and backward for extra challenge. Good. I want you to really pull the belly button up toward the ceiling. We're not here for a long time, so give it all you've got. We've got 10. Keep that bum low. 9. Abs in. 8. Power up through those shoulders. I'm shaking. 5. Nearly there. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Oh my goodness. Take your knees nice and wide. Extend your arms out long. Keep your hips elevated and stretch into a puppy pose. Lengthening through the spine, stretching the shoulders. Inhaling and slowly exhaling. For 3 and 2 and final 1. Nicely done. Now we're going to come into an all fours position. Step the right foot between the hands. Stretch that left leg out long behind you. And we're going to come into a lunge here. Gently sinking into the stretch. Gently pushing the left hip forward so we can feel a stretch in that left hip flexor. Good. Hands can be on the thigh, they can be overhead, or you can gently stretch over to the right side. So I'm lifting up and over with my left arm. That helps to deepen the stretch in the left hip. Good. Reach and stretch for 3 and 2 and 1. Good. And step the left foot forward. We are in our cool down and stretch now. It feels very well deserved after the workout that we just had. I'm going to lift up and over with my right arm here, gently pushing my right hip forward, sinking into the stretch and feeling that lengthening feeling from the hip bone all the way out through the fingers. Side body is stretching here too. For 3 and 2 and 1. Lower down. Now from here, we're going to curl the toes, bring the hips up into a downward dog. I'm going to lift that right leg up nice and high and then fold it under the body as I lower down into a pigeon pose. Now I'm going to use this opportunity to stretch out my abdominals here as well, gently extending the spine, pressing the mat away up through the fingertips, stretching into those hips and glutes for 3 and 2 and 1. Now I'm going to step back into my downward dog, lift the left leg high, reach and stretch, and then fold it under the body. And this time I'm going to lower down, folding over the left leg, and just enjoying the stretch from this position. You can stay upright if that feels better for you. Breathing deeply for 3 and 2 and 1. Now from here, we're going to lift up into a seated position. I'm going to take my hands overhead and then fold over to the right side, keeping that left bum cheek down on the floor, reaching, touching holding onto your calf, your ankle, or your foot. As we stretch the side body. Good. Stretching through the spine here as well. Holding it for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lifting up. Bringing opposite foot in, extending your other leg out long. Lifting and folding and stretching. Stretching into the shoulders here as well. Keeping that right bum cheek down on the floor. Enjoying that stretch in the leg. I can still feel that lengthening feeling from the side of the hip all the way out through those fingertips as well, which I love. Holding it here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing yourself into a cross-leg position and taking your right arm across your chest just to make sure we really stretched out those shoulders to finish off. No tightness in the upper back or the shoulders. That's something I've been reminding myself to do lately, is to properly stretch out my shoulders and my back after a workout. Good. You can hug that arm in a little closer if that feels good. Deep stretch. Maintaining really nice posture as you do so. And then let's switch sides, bringing that left arm across the chest, feeling that deep stretch in the left shoulder. Good. Keep breathing here. Enjoying this cool down and all the good things that you've done for your body. Pull it a little closer towards your chest for 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to interlace my fingers behind my back and just press the backs of my hands out behind me as I open through the chest, lifting the chin, gently extending the spine for 3, and 2, and 1. Lower your arms, lift your shoulders, and let's roll out those shoulders, bringing them up by the ears and then melting them down and back. Let's take 3 and 2, open up through that chest, and final 1, lift the shoulders up and melt them down and back. Amazing work, beautiful posture to finish off. You should feel so proud of yourself. That was a comprehensive workout. You targeted all the major muscle groups. It was intense, it was challenging, but it was also really restorative. So thanks again for being here with me. If you haven't already, please be sure to sign up for one of my membership tiers, my favorite being the weekly live workouts, because it means that we get to work out together live in real time once a week. Thanks so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you on the mat again soon. Bye guys.